Ever since the second set of promotions for Thudarum started to flood our devices, there was constant comparisons of the film with Drishyam. But even if you watch Thudarum, comparisons with Drishyam does not look like it's going to end anytime soon. Like the 2013 film, this too is about a family having to come together when an outsider chooses to disturb their peace. And like Drishyam, this too is a film in which an ordinary family is forced to take on the full might of the police force. Is it as clever and genre-bending as Drishyam was? Certainly not. But is it thrilling with satisfying amounts of massy fun? 100%. Now that was my short review of Mohanlal's Thudarum, a film in which you see the full force of Mohanlal like we love to see him. Now let's talk about this in a bit of detail. Tharun Moorthy's Thudarum is a film you immediately feel like watching for a second time. Details you may have missed or information that was carefully planted during the film's early portions need to be rewatched to understand how the screenplay was built up. Take the casual manner in which Mohanlal, playing a man named Benz after his love for cars, speaks about how actors like Rajinikanth, Mammootty, Suresh Gopi and Mohanlal himself were able to become superstars. We think he's going to say something about acting or hard work or sincerity. But no, he says they became superstars because of how well they could do action. This might feel like a joke or a detail you need to understand for us to fully understand what Benz used to do in his former life as a stunt choreographer in Tamil cinema. But for now, he's just happy to drive around in his old black Ambassador and live with his loving family. These parts are light, it's funny, and we see the film trying a bit too hard to milk the nostalgia. And so we get references from Odian, Malaikottai Vaaliban, Narasimham, Devasuram, obviously Mansidataru, and the one I love the most, Pavithram. The pace picks up quickly and abruptly as we approach the interval, and like we were promised from the trailer, the film does become a Drishyam style thriller. The mood changes, the stakes are heightened, and the motivations of all the characters begin to get revealed gradually. But despite this shift, the film remains firmly held together not just because Mohanlal is in fine form, but we also get a shockingly good villain in the form of superstar ad guru Prakash Varma. He plays a police officer named George, which was of course Mohanlal's name in Drishyam as well. And like that character, the George sir here is not only incredibly clever, but he's also brutal. So we do not feel like Benz is up against reasonable people. It feels like Benz has no other way but the path he finally ends up choosing. It's also interesting to see how different Benz is when you compare him with a man like George Kutti from Drishyam. Not only are they both said to have limited education, but their choices in time of crisis too is a result of where they learnt about life from. For George Kutti, it was all the movies he watched as a cable TV operator. As for Benz, he learnt everything from the period in which he was working as a stuntman, which is also why this turns into a more primal film compared to Drishyam. We get dialogue after dialogue comparing each of the film's characters to various wild animals that inhabit the film's forest-like setting. There are no rules that apply to any of them, and it's all a game of survival after a point. But as the film chases these primal emotions, you also tend to feel like this is a far more safer, less ambitious film compared to Drishyam. Yet what keeps the film exciting is just how cleverly it builds up to some amazingly crafted massy moments. The emotions have been laid out so firmly by then that we too feel like there is no other option but the way Benz reacts. When these moments click, Shaji Kumar's camera work gives you striking images complemented perfectly by Jakes Bejoy's music. It may not always be aspiring for greatness, but what it sets out to do, it does perfectly. I mean, if 2 months ago, if anyone were to tell me that Lalaten's coolest mass action moment of the year was going to come out of Thudarum, I wouldn't have believed them. But that's how surprising Thudarum can be. That's my review of Thudarum, which I enjoyed for the most part. If you liked this review, hit like and subscribe to THR India.